So when you practice this listening, you are not going to give any judgments. You are not going to say, oh, this is not good, or you shouldn't be like this. You're just going to listen. You're not going to offer unsolicited advice. And, you know, in coaching, we don't give advice. And we're not going to interrupt the other person. We're just going to listen to them. So next time when you see someone maybe who is not in their best shape, just ask them, how are you feeling? And do you want to talk about it? And create that safe space for them and try to see if there is a conversation that you can have with them. And of course, just like Cristina was mentioning as well, journal when you don't feel safe to and comfortable to share with someone else. You can just get the notebook or a journal and start writing down about how you are feeling. You can start with writing, today I had a hard time because, and then you can just write about your feelings, your thoughts, your emotions. Or you can write something like, I feel sad when I think about, and then write about what is giving you that feeling of sadness. Or you can try to shift your mood from when you are in a low space and you feel that you miss your family so much when you're away from them, for instance, and you're on the ship. Then try to connect with positive feelings and with positive memories, and write down, the best memory I have with my family is when, and just start writing down, because that will shift your thinking from focusing on being away from them into reconnecting with those beautiful memories that you have with them. So try to do these exercises and try to put these skills into practice. Be more kind, listen to someone who is going through a hard time, and journal. Keep a journal with you and start writing down. Now, I'm going to pass the microphone over to Cristina for the next step, and then we will continue with some more exercises. If there are any questions, please do feel free to share them in the chat or share them with us.
Thank you very much, Alexandra. It's so great you have so many good exercises. Okay, and also we are waiting for your opinions. Just feel free to write them in the chat section. Meanwhile, my third part will be something related to maritime coaching for seafarer women. Again, the presentation that I prepare for you is based on research that I previously done with my colleagues from gender equality research. And now we are talking about the role of the maritime coach. We have concluded in my previous part that the maritime coach compared to the maritime leader has the duty to guide the coachee and to assist. The role of the maritime coach is to ensure the coachee is properly guided to open his or her own strengths and capabilities. And I asked you previously, what to do if we don't have a maritime coach on board ship? And I introduced the exercise of Alexandra with the journal, writing the journal. But based on our research, we discovered that, in fact, a lot of very good coaching opinions and perspectives are found from individuals like seafarer women that were interviewed in 2018 during our study. We used a scientific research tool, structured online interviews, and we compiled all these answers coming from seafarer women. So we asked them, what advice would you give to females who want to pursue a career in seafaring? And we discovered something really awesome, really great. They replied with their own experience based on their own expertise and their own events they were passing through. And I would just like to briefly read some of their advices to understand how a support group like a seafarer group would do a huge help for motivating other seafarer women. For example, a Filipino seafarer woman replied, "You must have the courage and strong heart to follow your dreams in life." A Belgian, "Fight for what you love." Again, Filipino, "Seafaring is a very challenging job. For you to prevail, you must know your rights and must know the right people who can help you when things go wrong. Respect can't be bought, nor it can be forced on people. You have to earn it." I really like this idea. You can start by respecting yourself. Another opinion, "Stay strong and be positive all the time." This, Alexandra, in fact, is also part of what you are saying. Don't let men intimidate you because they are men. Work with them. So cooperation is the key word here. Show your worth as part of the team. Never let your gender be a hindrance to your career. Be dedicated to your work. Again, here I conclude a focus on professionalism. A seafarer woman should be a professional from the first step on board vessel in her working space. Prove that female can also contribute to the development of maritime industry so that more companies will hire and accept female seafarers to work on board. In our scientific research pool, other nationalities replied. We had also Romanian, Swiss, Australian, British. Here are only 18 replies, but in total there are much more. And I mentioned there the published paper where you can find all of them. And in the end, I would like to read an Australian seafarer woman opinion. She said, "You have every right to pursue your dream. Don't be disheartened by other people's experiences. Don't set yourself aside from your male colleagues. Get in there, lift the heavy things, and do the dirty jobs. Let your attitude and your work speak for themselves. You will encounter people who are threatened by you. Kill them with your kindness. Don't let the societal pressure of marriage and children get in the way of what you want. And most importantly, wear sunscreen." So these are only a few things that I thought necessary to share with you from my academic previous experience. And for the next webinar, I will prepare some scientific facts about resilient coach versus the perspective of maritime digital leader. So for now, this is in large lines what I wanted to share with you. So I will let now my colleagues, both the Alexandras, continue their part. Okay.
Thank you very much. I wanted to address one of the questions in the chat before I move on to the next part. Caroline says, could you talk a bit more about not giving advices as a coach? Yes, in coaching, we don't give advice because in coaching, it's about focusing on the person in front of us, on the coachee. And the expert in their life is themselves. We cannot be, as coaches, expert in someone else's life. So we are only there as a coach to support them and to give them that space for them to develop, to feel safe, to share what they're going through, and to set their growth, their goals for their transformation, and to give them some encouragement and to keep them accountable for what they're doing. But we don't give them advice, because advice means that it would come from our experience. What we can do is we can perhaps share from our experience, but not as giving advice, just mentioning from the beginning, this is my experience. So it's just very important to make sure that the spotlight is on the person in front of us and on the coachee. The coach is there just to hold the space and to give guidance and to hold the hand of the coachee, but not to point them in the direction, because the coachee is the one who knows best. I hope that that responds to the question. And Caroline, if you have more questions, please do share them with us in the chat. So I'm going to go now to the next pillar, because it's really important, especially in the context that Cristina just shared in terms of women on board and in the maritime industry overall. And focusing on our personal and professional growth is very important when it comes to looking at how we are pursuing our dreams and how we're not allowing anything, any gender biased opinions to stop us, or any other social pressure to put a stop on our dreams. But in order to be able to do that, we need to focus on our personal and professional growth. And when it comes to growth, we sometimes do the same things over and over again, and we expect different results. And you might have heard this quote, that the definition of insanity is doing the same thing over and over again, expecting different results. Of course, this is not going to happen. When we do the same thing over and over, we will have the same results, and there will be no growth, there will be no transformation. Instead, to transform ourselves and to be more self-confident, to earn that respect. That was a very beautiful point, Cristina, thank you for sharing that. To earn that respect and to make sure that we follow that dream and we put those boundaries to what is not serving us, we need to focus on our transformation and our well-being. And with that comes continuous learning. We want to be always in touch with more knowledge and how we can improve ourselves, how we can be better for our mental health, but also for the interactions with the people around us, whether they're at work or outside of the workplace. And of course, just like Cristina was saying, it's not just about accumulating that knowledge. We can, of course, read a lot of books and attend many seminars, but it's also about putting into practice and how we actually do that. And that is how we will start seeing the results, by shifting and transforming the way that we act and the way that we do those things, by implementing healthy routines, for instance, by being more kind, by listening to someone who is going through something difficult. There is a mental health organization in New Zealand that proposes these 5 topics when it comes to personal and professional growth. And we have already covered connection, when we listen to someone, when we talk to someone and share about what we're going through. We have talked about giving kindness, giving time to those around us. We have talked about taking notice, meaning being self-aware and understanding and grounding ourselves in the present moment. We shared about keep learning, because that will contribute to our growth, and about being active. Now, what we mean by being active is both physically, because it will help us with our physical health, but also learning, being actively involved in our growth process and in our learning process.